Sunday brunch at the Hamilton estate felt suffocating, even in a room that big. My sister, Victoria, sat at the head of the table in a sharp designer suit, soaking in attention after closing another major deal at her investment bank. I adjusted my plain black sweater and watched the same scene play out, just like every Sunday. Victoria, the golden child. Me, the disappointment. "Still playing with your little tech startup, Olivia?" she asked with a smirk, lifting her mimosa. "What is it this time?" "Another revolutionary app." I thought about Nova Systems. About the headquarters. About tomorrow's IPO. About 3 years of quiet work building quantum computing technology that could change everything. "The company's doing well," I said calmly, glancing at my phone. A message from my CFO popped up. "Trading floor ready. Opening bell in 45 minutes. "Well," Dad said, lowering his newspaper, "Victoria's team handled $3 billion in mergers this quarter. That's what real success looks like." Mom nodded proudly. "Youngest senior VP at Goldman. And you're still," she waved her hand dismissively, "doing whatever it is you do." Victoria laughed. I could help you. Get you an entry-level position at the bank." My phone buzzed again. Confirmation from the exchange. Nova Systems would open at $200 per share. Valuation, $12 billion. "I'm happy with my choices," I said, taking a sip of tea. "Choices?" Dad scoffed. "Running a startup from your apartment isn't a career. It's avoiding reality." In the background, the kitchen TV played CNBC, just noise to them. "Markets open in 5 minutes, the anchor said. "All eyes on today's historic tech IPO." Victoria straightened, interested. "Speaking of that, my team's working on a major tech offering today. Some quantum computing company that's supposed to..." She stopped. My face appeared on the screen. "Nova Systems, led by CEO Olivia Hamilton, debuts this morning," the anchor announced. Early estimates suggest a $12 billion valuation, making it the largest tech IPO of the year. Dad choked on his coffee. Mom nearly dropped her croissant. Victoria just stared. "That's not possible," she whispered. "You work from your apartment." "A $40 million penthouse," I said calmly. "The one you called a waste of money last month." "Nova Systems," Dad muttered, trying to process it. "They're the ones behind the quantum processing breakthrough? The one everyone's talking about. The one replacing traditional computing," I said with a small smile. "Yes. That's my little startup." Victoria's phone exploded with messages. Probably her team realizing they had just lost the biggest deal of the year. "But why didn't you tell us?" Mom asked, shaken. "You never asked," I replied. "You were too busy celebrating Victoria's version of success to notice I was building something different." My phone lit up again. "Press waiting. Trading floor ready for CEO statement. $12 billion, Dad whispered. "Actually," I said, checking the latest update, "it looks closer to $15 billion now. Investors seem excited about quantum computing." The TV cut to live footage of Wall Street. Crowds gathering, reporters talking about how Nova's technology could change industries from healthcare to space exploration. Victoria looked at me slowly. "Your apartment," she said. "It's the top floor of Nova's building, isn't it? And the 3 floors below it," I added. "A small business needs space." My phone started ringing. The stock exchange director. And for the first time, no one at the table had anything left to say. "It's time for the opening bell," I said, standing up smoothly. "If you'll excuse me. I have a company to take public." I paused just long enough to meet their eyes. Unlike some people's work, mine actually changes the world. "Wait," Dad called out, panic creeping into his voice. "We didn't know." "That was the point," I said calmly, gathering my things. "I learned a long time ago not to share my wins with people who already decided I was a failure." Victoria swallowed hard. "The IPO, those filings, we reviewed something like that months ago." "Goldman passed," I finished for her. "Because you told them it was probably another amateur startup." Silence. "Morgan Stanley sends their thanks, by the way," I added. "The underwriting fees alone made their year." On the TV, the anchor's voice grew more excited. "Nova Systems' quantum technology is being called the biggest leap since the microchip." "Venture capital?" Dad cut in. "But you said you couldn't get funding." I said I didn't need your funding, I corrected. There's a difference. Silicon Valley had no problem understanding what I was building. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Executives, investors, media. Dr. Hamilton, my assistant said through the line, the exchange floor is ready. The governor keeps calling about the new tech center. I'll be there shortly, I said. Just finishing brunch with my family, who were explaining how my work isn't real. Mom's face crumbled. Darling, we didn't mean. Yes, I cut in. You did. Every comment. Every comparison. Every time you dismissed me. Through the window my driver was already waiting. Victoria spoke again, quieter this time. The quantum processors. They'll make current banking systems obsolete, won't they? Everything obsolete, I said. Including the trading systems your team is so proud of. I picked up my coat. You might want to update your resume. The TV showed crowds gathering outside the exchange, waiting for Nova's debut. I should go, I said. Unlike some careers, my little business affects more than quarterly bonuses. As I reached the door, Dad's voice broke behind me. We were wrong. I turned once. You were wrong about everything, I said. But don't worry, you can watch your amateur daughter make history on TV. Then I walked out. The New York Stock Exchange buzzed with energy. Traders, reporters, tech leaders. Everyone was there. 5 minutes to open, Hamilton, my CFO said, showing me live data. We could hit $20 billion by lunch. I adjusted my blazer, eyes on the massive screens displaying Nova's technology. 3 years of silence. All leading to this. Ms. Hamilton, reporters called. How does it feel to change computing at 28? Before I could answer, I noticed movement at the entrance. My family. They looked out of place, small against everything happening. Security stepped forward. This is a restricted area. Let them in, I said quietly. Let them see what playing entrepreneur looks like. Above us, screens showed our quantum systems in action, processing power that made traditional computers look primitive. Tickers flashed as tech stocks started to drop. The world was already reacting. Morgan Stanley is online, my assistant said. Microsoft wants immediate talks. Victoria stepped closer, her confidence gone. This isn't just a startup, is it? No, I said. It's a complete shift. I looked at her. Quantum computing. AI. Cybersecurity. Medicine. It changes everything. I gave a small smile. But I guess that's not as impressive as banking deals. Dad picked up one of the IPO documents, staring at it. All those nights. We thought you were wasting time. I was rewriting the rules, I said. While you were busy praising the safe path, I made it irrelevant. Exchange officials approached, holding the ceremonial opening hammer. Shall we begin? One asked. Then he hesitated, noticing my family. We can delay if needed. No need, I said. They were just leaving. I glanced at them. Unless you'd like to stay and watch me play business a little longer. Olivia, Mom whispered. We had no idea. That's the problem, I said. You never tried to understand. My phone buzzed again. Messages from world leaders, tech giants, investors. Victoria spoke one last time. The quantum processors. They'll replace current financial systems, won't they? Completely, I said. Digital banking will have to rebuild around this. I gestured around us. Everything you know, this entire system, it's about to change. And for the first time in my life, they were the ones trying to catch up. The screens lit up with breaking news. Tech stocks were falling fast as Nova Systems prepared to launch. Headlines flashed about traditional computing becoming obsolete overnight. Princess. Dad started using the nickname he hadn't said in years. We were wrong. Save it, I said, raising my hand. I'm about to ring the bell on a $20 billion IPO that will reshape global technology. I don't need your validation anymore. 30 seconds, an official called out. Outside, media trucks crowded Wall Street, cameras pointed at the building, waiting. I looked at Victoria. That seed funding you rejected? The one you called amateur. I said. It's worth $100 million per share now. She flinched. Miss Hamilton, my assistant said, stepping in, the quantum team needs your approval for the global launch. I turned away from my family without hesitation. Authorize full protocol, I said. Today isn't just about stock prices. We're launching a revolution. Olivia, please. Mom stepped forward. Please what? That's cold. Forget the years you mocked me. Ignore how you dismissed everything I built. Pretend you believed in me before the billions. The trading floor went quiet. Even the seasoned traders stopped to watch. You should go, I said finally. I have a bell to ring. Security escorted them out. Watch the ticker, I called after them. You'll see what your amateur daughter built. The opening bell was placed in my hand. Ready to change the world, Miss Hamilton? The exchange president asked. I smiled. I already have. 6 months later. Nova Systems stood at $50 billion. Our headquarters, a glass and steel tower powered entirely by quantum systems, dominated the Silicon Valley skyline. On my office wall, a framed headline read, Nova Systems hits $50 billion. How Olivia Hamilton changed computing. Fourth quarter projections exceeded expectations by 300%, my CFO said, displaying live data powered by our own processors. Across the industry, companies had already shifted to Nova's architecture. The amateur startup had become the backbone of global technology. Miss Hamilton, my assistant said, your family is in the lobby. They're asking to see you. I glanced at the security feed. They looked different. Humbled. Victoria wore a simple suit now. No more investment bank confidence. She had left banking after our systems made traditional trading obsolete. The demo comes first, I said. They can wait. In the quantum lab, the world's top tech leaders watched our systems in action. Medical breakthroughs, climate modeling, advanced AI. All powered by Nova, someone said in awe. This isn't evolution, a CEO added. It's a complete rebirth of computing. That was always the goal, I said. Not to improve the system, but to rebuild it. My phone buzzed again. Another breakthrough. Our processors had just accelerated cancer research. Lives were being saved by something they once called a hobby. When I finally walked into the conference room, my family stood waiting. They looked smaller now. The processing speed, Victoria said quietly. It's doing in seconds what used to take years. Including your trading systems, I said. How's the job search going? She lowered her eyes. Different, being on this side of innovation. The entire financial world changed, Dad added. Yes, I said. Just like your opinion of my little startup. Mom stepped forward carefully. The foundation you created, helping young innovators. I nodded. People with ideas. People who just need someone to believe in them. Victoria hesitated. I've been studying quantum computing, trying to understand what you built while we were dismissing it. She looked at me. It's brilliant. We were wrong. My phone buzzed again. Another breakthrough. More lives impacted. The innovation lab needs analysts, I said after a moment. People who understand both finance and technology. Victoria looked up, surprised. You'd give me a chance? Professionally, I said. No family favors. You earn your place. Thank you, she whispered. Mom spoke softly. And us. I studied them. The arrogance was gone. Sunday brunch, I said finally. Here. At Nova. They nodded quickly. But first, I added, I want you to meet someone. I led them into the research lab. A young developer looked up from her workstation. This is Maya, I said. Miss Hamilton gave me a chance, she said with a bright smile. When everyone else said I was too young, too inexperienced, too amateur. I saw my family flinch. Good. My phone buzzed again, another global breakthrough. I have to go, I said. The UN Tech Council is waiting. I turned to Maya. Keep pushing limits. Show them what amateurs can do. As I reached the door, Victoria called out. Olivia, thank you. Not just for proving us wrong, but for showing us what's possible. I paused. Looked back at them. At Maya. At the future unfolding all around us. Then I smiled just slightly and walked forward.